Hey, First Baptist Kettering. I'm Nikki Mullins. I came to Grief Share in 2024. I came and I've done 2 sessions. I lost my husband in August of 2022. We had been married for almost 30 years. He was an amazing man, and we loved him very much. It was a very sudden loss. The weekend before, we were out and he was kayaking and playing with our grandson, and Monday he was gone and he went to be with Jesus. It was a very sudden loss, and the grief that I went through was like anything I ever could imagine. It took me a year and a half from the time that we lost him for me to finally come to Grief Share. I knew about Grief Share for a while. I'd heard about it. I'd seen it on advertised on church bulletins and things like the billboards, the signs. And I just wasn't ready to talk about it, other than I talked about it with friends and family and my church members, but I didn't, I wasn't ready to necessarily go to grief counseling or anything like that. People said, you should go. And I wasn't ready. And one day I was sitting in my room and I said, I think I'm ready to go to Grief Share. I looked it up online and I found, was looking for different churches that had Grief Share. First Baptist Kettering popped up. And now I don't attend First Baptist Kettering. I attend Gathering Place Baptist Church in Kettering, Ohio, but I have ties to First Baptist Kettering. I came here over 20 years. I was part of MOPS, the Moms of Preschoolers group. So I know some of the people here. I'm familiar with the church, and so I decided to sign up. And it was scary because I didn't know anybody. But it was also something that I knew that I felt God really speaking to me and telling me, this is where you need to be. I didn't know what to expect. I had all kinds of things in my mind. I didn't know who was going to be there. And there was an amazing group of people who were there, all different, different people, and the welcoming feeling that you got was really good. When I went to that first meeting, what to expect when you go to Grief Share, I didn't know. I'd never been there, didn't know anybody who had been there before. So you have you watch your 30-minute video, and then getting together, and afterwards you have the group that you have your group time where you're talking to all the people. And that time where you get to hear people's stories and share your own became such an important part of my week. I don't know how to explain it. It was just a time that filled me up, I was able to hear people's stories, and I was able to share my own. To me, the biggest surprise was the feeling that I got of being able to talk to other people in my same situation or in other situations, and encourage them. That encouragement was very uplifting. The name Grief Share, it's really relevant to the group because you're sharing your grief, the grief that you're going through. And one of the things that you talk about in Grief Share is everybody grieves differently. Everybody has a different way of grieving. The way I grieve may be different from the way somebody else is grieving, and it's okay. That's the biggest thing, that it's okay to, there's no textbook. But in sharing that grieving, like, I'm not only sharing my grief, but your grief that you're having, you can share with others. And somebody else is in there in that group that may have exactly the words that you need to hear. So I think that in sharing of, the pain that you go through with grief, you can have a lot of healing. So I was going to lunch with a group of ladies from our church a couple of weeks ago, and I was talking to a good friend of mine who lost her husband about 6 months ago, and I was telling her about Grief Share and telling her how much it has helped me in the last year. And I invited her to come to this upcoming session, and she agreed. She sent me a text this morning telling me that she got online and she signed up. She joined the group to come. And I was on the fence. I was on the fence on whether or not I should come back for a third session, because I have gone through a lot of healing in the last year. Going through the 2 sessions of Grief Share has helped me tremendously. But I feel like God is leading me in a way that He knows that I still have more to give in this group, and I feel like there's probably still more for me to learn as well. If you're in the spot of wondering whether or not you're ready to come to Grief Share, or to go to anywhere for help with your grief, pray about it first. Let God lead you, and listen to what He says, and be brave. And it's scary to do something new, but the benefits that you get, the encouragement, the love that you can get, the healing in your heart from the grief that you're going through, it's worth every single worry and that you have. It'll be okay, and it'll be good. You don't want to get stuck in this grief, it's dark, and it's sad, and it's hard when you're in that grief. But God wants us to live fully, and He wants us to live for Him. And I think that Grief Share really was a huge part of pulling me out of that grief and helping me to step out into the world and to live fully. Just do it.